Kelsey, we're coming up.
We're on in about 10 seconds.
Okay. I got no audio in here.
In silence, the voices, but you can't stop the song.
Welcome to Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged with your host, Brain Fitzpatrick. Wheeling the Pathways of Life Unplugged is a snapshot of the day-to-day experiences of disabled individuals as they navigate the world around us. We wish to shed light and open your eyes on a new perspective of people with disabilities. And by going unplugged, we can discuss viewpoints we hope will challenge our viewers' points of view. Most of us have disabilities we must live with, but what defines us is the way we deal with them. And now, here's your host, Brain Fitzpatrick.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brain Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway of Life. Today, I'm going to be talking to you. I'm not going to have a guest coming on the show today. But today I want to talk about some of the situations that keep coming up repeatedly and how we did, like we talked about last week, how with Matt, how ridiculous things can be when it comes to getting equipment, making sure it works, and some of the frustrations with that. The biggest frustration I have right now is one of the situations that I'm dealing with right now is the fact that really, for all practical purposes, I don't have a lifeline at this point because my lifeline is down. At this point, I called the company. You know what they said? Wait 24 to 48 hours and someone will get back to you on how to fix the lifeline. With a lifeline, you can't really wait 24 to 48 hours on it. You can't do that. You can't say, well, wait 24 to 48 hours. One of the things that I like to also say is when it comes to independence, as far as a lifeline and stuff like that, I believe there should be a law that all lifeline devices have GPS on them. Have GPS and cellular capable of being used. Most of your lifelines today for the disabled and the elderly don't have cellular capability. So in other words, if I go to church or go to grocery store or something, I have to have somebody with me that can call 911 because I don't have a way of communicating with 911. And many of you may say, well, you got Google and stuff like that. Yes, I got Google for communication and stuff like that. But Google is a third party. Okay? You cannot call 911 on a third party, utilizing a third party device. It says right on some devices, you can't use this device for 911 purposes. So the way I have to call for emergency systems is to use the regular number for the police station and then tell them what they need and they take it from there. I can't use regular 911 except for the fact that I can text to 911 now because they just upgraded that system, so you can text 911 instead of making a verbal phone call in some cases. But the reason why I bring that up is I just had to upgrade my lifeline, and the lifeline is capable of doing both cellular and landline, but I found out after I was told that I had it, that my insurance company may not cover it. So I had to real quick go back to the phone line setup for the lifeline. But as a result, when we were setting up that, then we found out the bracelet on my wrist wasn't compatible with the device. So I'm still waiting for that. So technically, I don't have a lifeline at this point. However, I do have other pieces of equipment that can make up the difference. So, I mean, when companies are making these devices, what I'm saying is people need to realize some of the elderly and some of the people utilizing them don't have people coming in every day, or don't have people who can help them set up this stuff. So people need to be aware that when these outside agencies outside the area have to send equipment out and stuff, who's gonna set it up if there's nobody available to do it? And like I've said in several occasions where my staff at my house is not trained or in some cases, knowledgeable enough to do it. So these people need to realize, and the state and federal government need to realize, if you're going to make something so people can be independent, don't tie the device to the house. Tie the device to the person. I mean, don't tie it to them physically, but allow them to go out mobile with the device and it's supposed to make life easier, not make life harder. And if you're tied, if you've got a lifeline device that's tied to the house, and the only way you can use lifeline is if you stay at the house, what good is that gonna do for the person that wants to get out and do things, but they can't because they need a lifeline? Now, a lot of people say that doesn't make sense, but for someone like in my situation, if I go out and I have a problem, I don't want to always give my medical information to the people around me. Even though they may know me, I may not want it to be on the general public. So having the ability to use a lifeline where they already have the medical stuff they need to know to get the medical help to me, then that would be easier for me than to deal with it. But if I'm around people that I know very well, it doesn't matter that much. But I'm just saying, for people that don't have people around them, it makes it hard. So I implore these departments to kind of take that into consideration when they're developing these equipment. You can't just do a blanket setup for one person. You have to tailor it to the people that you're working with. And it's very hard to do that with a corporation or a company that's all over the country. Like the company I'm dealing with is not even in Massachusetts. They're all over the country, and it's not even. They provide the service in Massachusetts, but they're not even in the area for the service. So that's just my take on some equipment. And, it's like the wheelchair people. They come up here once or twice a week, but they're in Springfield, so if they need to work on the chairs, like when you got something going on with the chair where they need to take it back to the shop, it's gone for a week or two until the next time they get up here. When the chair is done, they bring it back to you. But what are we supposed to do without the chair we have? if my controller can pull out for a second, I'll show you something. The chair that I'm sitting in right now, I can't go into a manual chair. I can't go into a regular manual chair and let this one go to be repaired. I have to have special seating systems. I have to have special headrests and stuff like that. So I can't just say, oh, I can do without a chair for a week. I mean, I'd be stuck in bed for a week. Okay, Kelsey, you can go back in. I mean, people need to look at the practicality of what they're asking these clients to deal with. All right? I'm not saying you guys aren't trying, but I'm saying people may not think it's a big deal to wait 24 to 48 hours, but you're dealing with, in the case of a lifeline, you're dealing with a lifeline situation. It's a lifeline, so it's a priority. Okay. Luckily, I have alternatives that I can use because of UCB and because of the technology that I have. I can make other phone calls, other ways. So if there's an emergency, there won't be a big deal, but still, it's like, we won't have, if they can't fix it, we won't have another piece of equipment to you for 2 to 3 days. What are you talking about? You can't. I mean, it's a medical piece of equipment. What am I supposed to do without it? If I didn't have the special health equipment that I do from UCB, what am I supposed to do without it? I mean, it's like all these people, all these companies, I'm not bad-mouthing all the people that are doing the work in the company, but I'm saying all these bosses and all these people that are running these companies worry about the financial end of it, worry about, okay, we need to provide this service, but they're not looking at how they can provide it the best. They're just looking at it like, we can make money. It's like Matt said last week. It's like, the insurance company could send him a text or send him a message and said, we understand why you requested for the chair you have, but we need to see that you guys can handle it in the equipment, in the vehicle you have, or whether you can transport it or not. That's kind of insulting our intelligence, like saying, we as human beings would order something that we know we can't handle, so you need to verify that it's, if we think we can handle it, then we'll order it, but you're just delaying things by saying, we need to check and make sure you guys can handle it before we, if the people saying, if the families are saying they need this, I'm not saying you can't verify, but if you're saying that could sound insulting to some people, like you're questioning my intelligence as far as what I need, you know. I mean, that's to me, that's very presumptive. It's very presumptuous. It's very rude. Couldn't say the word. I'm sorry that I didn't want to say, but it's very rude and disrespectful when you challenge, when these insurance companies challenge the fact that, oh, we're not going to spend the money, we're not going to give you the equipment we know you need, because we're not sure if you know enough of what you need, so we gotta verify what you need because we need to make sure it's the right thing. Which I understand you need to verify it's the right thing, but again, why would we be ordering it? Why would we be requesting it if it wasn't the right thing? I mean, that is the most mind-boggling thing. Why would we be requesting something that we know we can handle and the family's gonna handle? That there is so much equipment that I have that was designed by none other than my father, because one, we couldn't get it, or two, because it's too expensive, or there's so much equipment out there that we could use for that purpose, but it's just so expensive and it's so hard to find that sometimes when I was a kid, sometimes we just went out and made the stuff because my father was capable of doing it, and it was just easier. He knew what I needed. He knew what I was using it for, and he knew, you know, what would work best for me. But I'm just saying, people need to realize that not only do the families know what they need, but the clients do too. When we come back, I have a very interesting question for my followers on YouTube and the people watching, and a request for them. So if you pay attention when we come back, I'll ask the question. We will be right back, folks.
I have a maker. He formed my heart before even time began. My life was in his hand. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. I have a Father. He calls me his own. He'll never leave me, no matter where I go. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. You hear me when I call. He hears me when I call.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Brian Fitzpatrick bringing you an episode of Wheeling the Pathway to Life. And before I ask the question that I was going to ask before the break, that I announced before the break that I was going to ask a question, I got to say, a lot of the last segment about the lifeline and stuff, and this is going to come up periodically throughout the shows. Stuff that's actually happened to me during the week. A lot of times I use this show for venting and frustration. Venting and frustration situations because, as the mayor so eloquently said, you guys don't know what we go through, so sometimes I have to wake people up and say, hey, pay attention to this situation because this situation is not going to work. The question that I want to ask you and the request that I want to ask you is I want to develop a list of services in the area that I know themselves. Some of them I know about, some of them I don't know, and some of them are new. So if anybody knows of any services or any unique situations they want to have discussed or mentioned on here, please let me know. And this has been a thought process for me for a long time, but I'm working on it. I just got to find the right people who can be around some of these agencies and some of these support areas and be like an advisor, or at least someone that I can refer people to and say, if they can't help you, they can point you in the right direction. There's a couple very famous shows that I watch on TV that many of you know that I think that I'm gonna use the concept for is utilizing agencies and the support that this area has and around the country that I can't refer you physically, but I can at least point you in the right direction and kind of be the facilitator of getting services for you. Or if you got certain situations that you can handle, and I've got the resources and I've got the knowledge to be able to give the resources to you. That's what the purpose of this show is not only for me to tell you stories about me, but to give you the information you need to help you as well. So if anybody has any unique situations that they know how they handle the situation, please let me know so we can discuss it. And the way you can get hold of me is Wheeling the Pathway to Life at gmail.com. That's Wheeling the Pathway at gmail.com. And that will be greatly appreciated. And sometime in the future, we may go to like an advisory team, like I get some of the agencies around the area to kind of be a support, so I can actually kind of make suggestions and help facilitate some of the resources that people come to me and ask me for help. And sometimes I can give suggestions, but other times I can refer them directly to these agencies and say, hey, this is the perfect place for you, and see them succeed. That's gonna be the benefit of this show from now on. Is like I can actually point people in the right direction and assist in trying to get them help when they need it. And please note that a lot of times I can't check my email myself. I gotta have somebody help me. And sometimes it takes 24, 48 hours for me to get back to you. I know that's what I was talking about in the beginning, but in this case, I will get back to you with as accurate information as I can. And if I can't find the information, I will tell you the people that you can contact that can hopefully assist you with the question you have. Or if not, I'll be honest with you and say I can't find out for you, but I can try to point you in the right direction. Because, like I said, every situation is going to be unique. And I'm only one person, but we've got plenty of resources, and people can look online and stuff like that. And what I'm saying is I can lend my expertise on the advocacy side of making sure that you're heard and what you need to be told. What people need to hear from these agencies, what you need to tell the agency, and what the agencies need to hear from me, the information can get out there that they need to hear. So maybe they can reach out to me or reach out to you and help you get the services you need. So, again, like I said, if you need anything, or you need me to help you facilitate getting your services, you can contact me at wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com. That's wheelingthepathwaytolife@gmail.com. You know, you can always contact me on Facebook too. Leave me a message on Facebook and I will try and direct the question to the right agency, or look it up and give you the question, give you the answer on a future show. So I would ask that I was watching a particular morning drive show before I came in, along with watching last week's show before I came in. Of my own, I caught quite a bit of morning drive when I came in. I would like to publicly invite Dr. Joseph Curtis on my show to talk about the Pittsfield Public School System and the Special Education Department, and to explore what's going to happen with the disabled population as the transition and the restructuring is going on, and seeing if that's going to be affected by anything. I don't think it is, but I don't think people realize what I've been through a lot of in the school system and situations like that. And I think Joseph Curtis would be one of the one of the best people to talk to about that and learn. He can learn from that, and I can get some information out there. So situations like me, situations like mine in the past don't happen again in the future. Although, with the advent of the IEP, the educational plans and 504 plan that they have now, 504 plans are basically everything that the buildings and everything that the building must have and the classrooms must have for the students. But the IEP is the individual educational plan for the student that's in the special education department. So I love to have him on, and I love to have the special education director on the show to discuss some of the challenges that I've had and some of the challenges that the special education department has. And again, I thank Matthew Duggar for giving me so many ideas that he did last week, and I'm working on getting some of the situations, the guests, some of the suggestions from that show, bringing on guests from some of the agencies, and one of the agencies in particular, and there'll be more to come on that. But I think there's a lot in my life that people I must say this. PCAs and caregivers are so important, okay? And they are so vital to my care, and they are so greatly appreciated, but they are not. They gotta realize, I gotta realize, and they gotta realize that each of us has our own lives. And however they want to help is greatly appreciated, but the people gotta realize they're helping. They're not to run my life, and they're not to do things for me that I don't want them to do. I may be physically disabled, but, and yes, with any situation like this, there's usually a history of depression. So some people might say depression is a mental side of things, but as far as thinking and making decisions for myself, okay, sometimes I don't make the right decisions, but who does? But what I'm saying is, caregivers and people that care about you can't make your decisions for you. They can assist in making the decisions, but the final decision of how people are going to live their life with a disability, unless it is clear that the person can't make a decision and needs severe help making a decision, let them have as much independence as they can. Remember, my limitations of my independence is because I'm in a chair. Okay? There may be challenges that I can deal with. Okay? There may be challenges that I have to deal with or can deal with, but I have to deal with them in a different way. It doesn't mean that I may not be able to get to the same place that anybody else gets to. It may just have to be in a different way or a different time frame than other people, because it may take me longer to get there, because it may require a little more work. It doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means it may take a little more work to do. So what I'm asking people to do, not only in my circle, but for other people, look behind the physical disability and look on the intelligent side, and look at what people with a disability can do. Not what they can do, but how they can actually be as productive as they can be, despite their difficulties or despite their challenges. Because, as I've said before, God puts people in situations for a reason. And God's not gonna do it God's not gonna put people in unique situations if they cannot handle the situation. And believe me, God knows it before He puts people in situations. So, if God feels that you should be in the situation you're in, just know you're in it for a reason, and there's a purpose for that reason, and you just gotta ride with it, and He will reveal it through you. But if you question why He did this to you and get in your own head as to why He did what He did to you, the question that I would have, and the question that anybody should have, am I fulfilling the purpose that God has me here for, if I'm asking this question of why am I here? If you're just doing things as things come up, God will reveal to you why He's got you doing the situation He's got you doing. If you waste time questioning why God did this to you, you may not be fulfilling what God has planned for you. So, that's just my opinion, and that's the opinion of me and me alone. That's not the opinion of the station or anybody affiliated with anybody that does predictions or any of the agencies around necessarily, but that's just my opinion and how I feel. But I just think that if people waste their time worrying about why God did this to me or what's my purpose in life, then if you waste time worrying about why God did this to you, you may be missing an opportunity to do the things that God has you doing because you're so worried about figuring it out. You'll figure it out someday. And that someday will be revealed to you by God, hopefully, and someday you'll accept His decision and His answer, but I know some people won't, but that'll be up to them, but I hope for my sake that my choices that I'm making are all going to be, not all my decisions are going to be rewards, but most of my decisions are going to be rewarded when I get up to heaven. If you know Jesus, you know exactly what I mean, but if you don't, there's an opportunity for you to get to know Him and get to know who He is. And as you're getting to know who He is, you actually have an opportunity to learn who you really are yourself. If you know why Jesus came to save you or save anybody you know, then you may learn more about why you're here and what the purpose for you yourself being here is, and what God has planned for you. He may not reveal the plan until you're already in the situation, and then you can say, okay, this is why God's got me in this situation, because I can help the people in this situation. I just don't want, throughout the show and throughout the rest of my time doing shows, and hopefully it's going to be for the next several years, we'll see, but what I want people to realize is this show, it's a show what I can do and what other people can do despite their disabilities and despite the mindset of society in general. And stop saying, what can he do? Why is the purpose that he's here? All right? The purpose for me to be here right now from God is to talk to you. That's my belief. And until God tells me, or financially I can't do it anymore, I'm gonna continue to do it week after week when I can and when the station's available. There will be times that I won't be able to come in, but I will always be putting together shows for as long as I can and for as long as the station can put up with me. And as long as I have a crew, I will be putting together shows. Now, if you have any suggestions for shows, please let me know. Again, you can contact me at Wheeling the Pathways of Life, Wheeling the Pathways of Life at gmail.com. Let me know what you want. Give me a little bit of your story and whether or not I can share the story on the air. Because due to privacy, I don't want to share something that people don't want me to share. So please put on the email whether it's information that needs to get out, you need to get out, or you just want to give me information for other resources for other people. But if you want me to use a particular story, please let me know. And I will do it with the utmost respect and the utmost care that I can. Some of the information, there may not be a nice way to put it, but other than just put it out there and just say what I need to say and just put it out there. But if you give it to me and give me permission to put your stories out there and your situations out there, yeah, I will. And like I said, my job through the ways of media is to be as informative and be as helpful as I can. If people would just help me do that, that would be wonderful. Now, we're coming up on my 5th or 6th year of doing this show. Thank you very much for allowing me to come on every week and do a show for you and give you as much information as I can. With that, folks, we will be back next week. We will hopefully have a guest on. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but it'll be informative as it is every week. And I appreciate you tuning in every week and listening to me and listening to my guest. On behalf of Wheeling the Pathways of Life, have a good afternoon, folks.
Said you can bury the workman, but the work will go on. You can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. 'Cause when the spirits go